Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. Hopefully you're doing well today. Scott Carson, always excited to be here today and sharing some great nuggets with you, especially I think on the marketing realm and niche today. Over the weekend, we had our virtual Note Mastermind, which was all day Saturday, basically from 9 to 5, working with our Note Mastermind students that are spread out all across the country. And one of the things that we always go through there, hey, what's going on, what's working, what's not working, who's dealing with what issues, how can we help overcome that? And one of the most overwhelming things that we hear on a regular basis, and this is just not from the Note Mastermind, it's literally from about every investor that we hear, whether you're reading things on Bigger Pockets or LinkedIn or networking groups, is people are always looking for new sources. And one of the biggest thing that a couple of our mastermind students aired this weekend was the fact that they're tired of dealing and looking at the same recycled or low value tapes that are showing up. Some of the lower value contract for deeds, some lower, as we call them, bottom of the barrel, first or second lien portfolios that are been kind of making their way around. It happens every year about this time is let's get recycled. Well, one of the things that we talked about this weekend is I went into and shared how we are doing some things differently here to find deals. Now, this is something that is not new, something that we have shared with people out there on a basis. We've actually shared a couple of things that I talked about this Saturday with our WCN crew members. I've shared it before with people. And this is something that everybody who is listening to this, everybody that's in type of sales or is looking for new business, is an effective tool to use, or tools, I should say, to use to help grow your audience. And it automatically spawned new business over the weekend for us. Now, in 48 hours, it's really paid off. Now, we've used these tools for a while. And of course, they're not free tools. They're something that's going to cost you on a monthly basis, or you can use them for a period of time for free. But one of the big things that we've always been an advocate of using LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn is a great tool to go out and find contacts. It's also a great place to share your content. We share our, podcast episodes there, then many blogs with links to our website. We'll be sharing more videos there on a regular basis. Actually, one of the things that we're doing is updating all of our previous articles with a link to the YouTube video for that episode. But anyway, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm not going to talk about video for those listening. So if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner or in sales or any sort of business, you're looking for new clients. And LinkedIn is a social media tool of choice, I think, if you're in any type of that business. Why? Well, it's pretty easy to search on there to find people that are in your niche or that are in the niche that you're looking for, typing in job title, typing in businesses, and then contacting individuals from there. Now, let's face it, LinkedIn recently has had quite a few tools come over, and a lot of people are using it incorrectly. They're using it with a huge pitch and a huge push. I don't need to have diarrhea of the mouth right off the bat when I'm connecting with somebody. That's the thing that frustrates a lot of people, is that it's turned into a pitch fest a lot of times. But with a couple of the tools that I'm going to share with you that I've been using now for a couple of months, at least one of them's been 6 months, the other one's been the last month and a half, I think you're going to find that they're going to add a lot of value to you. I know that they added value almost immediately to our mastermind members this weekend. So the first tool that I'm going to talk about is a tool called LeadFuse. Now, LeadFuse is roughly about $99 a month. And what this does is LeadFuse connects with your existing LinkedIn profile, and it does a LinkedIn search to go out and find people in any type of category that you're looking for. So like with us in the note business, we type in special asset managers or secondary marketing department. There's another office that we use called the whole loan sales department. It's something that you might want to make note of if you're in the note business. Whole loan trading, okay? So doing a search for there, what's great is LeadFuse will go out and look for people, banking industry, United States, company size. You can filter down that stuff. You can also ask if the email is showing, and either a required part or leave that blank where their email doesn't show. Now, it's important, I think, to leave the email off, because since almost a year ago, last November, when LinkedIn went in and adjusted their settings so that they now are hiding the email addresses from everybody unless you purposely go in and check to allow your email to be viewed. You can no longer export your contacts to show a full email address. Now, the beautiful thing though is you will still export their LinkedIn URL. Like mine's linkedin.com/1/Scott Carson or Scott Carson. LeadFuse is a great way for you to run a search for specific categories. Like I said, $500 a month for $97 a month. I think for $150 extra, you can add 1,000 extra leads per month. Well, one of the things I use with LeadFuse is I did a search for special asset managers, and I found 880 people on that fall into the exact categories. Well, I was able to save those as leads and export that list. I have first names, last names, business, their title, their LinkedIn URL, which is one of the most key components, and then a bunch of other stuff about their company and where they're located and some stuff in the LinkedIn profile. A lot of the stuff is not necessary, but first name, last name, company, job title, and LinkedIn URL is one of the most important things. Now, the LinkedIn URL, basically, if I wanted to go connect with them one at a time, I could try that. Well, that's not an effective use of my time. Now, to pull a list of 800 names of asset managers for $97 has been a very effective use of my time, because I can pull it roughly in 5 minutes and export that. And now I've got a nice spreadsheet. Now, there's another tool that we talked about this weekend that I got from my most recent trip to New Media Summit and hanging out with other mastermind members on the podcasting side, showing how they use a tool called Octopus with their LinkedIn profile. Now, what Octopus is a tool that, once again, it's a Google plugin. It will link on to your LinkedIn, and it will allow you to upload lists of either emails or upload lists of LinkedIn connection lists, and then it can automate your connecting. Now, you can do a search for job title as well, and then say you want to connect with 50 or 100 people today, and it'll go out there and make it look like it's manually connecting you one at a time with other people. Now, a big and really cool thing to this is Octopus is a 14-day trial membership for free. So you can mess around with it at no additional cost and really kind of mess around with it and see how much you like it. Well, the website is octopuscrm.io. Now, what's great, the price is pretty inexpensive. It's basically paid, you can pay anywhere from $6.99 to $14.99 a month on this thing. And it's basically going to bill you on an annual basis. Well, this will also you do a search and export, auto endorse, auto view profiles, send automatic messages in bulk is one of the most beautiful things, and allow for you to do it'll look at how many connections you have and where kind of ranks in, but it'll also do you the most important thing of auto inviting. So instead of you sitting there at home at night connecting one at a time and copy pasting, this will automatically do an auto insert. Okay, this has been extremely helpful. Now, you don't want to be too long. So I did this and showed everybody how to do this on Saturday with Octopus. I basically said, hi, I uploaded that list of URLs, LinkedIn URLs from the 800 asset managers that we pulled. Okay, you can only do roughly about somewhere between 80 and 100 connections on a daily basis before it'll shut you down, before LinkedIn will recognize and stop you. I wouldn't do it too often because the last thing you want to do is lose your LinkedIn profile. Excuse me. So what I did is I said, okay, I'm going to upload 100 contacts of that LinkedIn. I imported them, and then I was able to customize an invite to those people with it pulling directly their first name, last name, and company name straight from their profile. And it automated. It knocked out roughly 80 invites in about an hour and a half, because it would take 20 minutes up to a minute. 20 seconds up to a minute sometimes to connect with people. And it was really good. Basically, it connected me with about 80 new connections. It sent out the invite. And this time, since I was going to special asset managers, was, hey, I was looking to see if you were the right person at your institution or at blank company who handles your distressed note sales. And it sent it out Saturday. Now, a lot of people say, well, Scott, why would you send it out Saturday when most of the asset managers are probably not there? They're probably at home for the weekend. They're probably not going to see it till Monday or Tuesday. And I said, because I had some free time to get it done. And I always like to be the person, especially when I'm testing new marketing things or doing marketing things, that I'm teaching my students or my mastermind members a tool and endorsing a tool. I want to make sure that I've used it. That's one thing you should know here. If I'm endorsing a product or a service, it's because I've used them or using them as a current vendor. And that's the case with Octopus CRM. I don't get paid off of this. I just think it's a phenomenal tool because in the matter of, I guess you could say 48 hours from Saturday, which would have been not on Sunday, would have been sometime starting on Monday, as people started going into their LinkedIn, I started getting connections. I increased my connections. And I also started getting emails from people responding to it since it was very personal. It wasn't pitchy. I had 3 people respond that, yes, they are indeed the correct person at their institution, talk about nut sales, and to follow up with an email to them directly, which they gave me, about what type of deals they're looking, what type of deals that we're looking for, what type of notes. It's a great thing, okay? Worked out really, really handy. And now that come Tuesday, I've got a couple new tapes in my inbox from these asset managers, or I should have some before the end of the week from the others that responded. Because I had some people who respond, ask me, hey, yes, or no, I'm not. This is the right person to talk to, or send me over your buying requirements and we'll pass it on. So I got more than just 3 referrals, 3 sources for business. That was phenomenal. It closed one deal out of it. It's going to make the whole cost of the $178 I had to pay because I had exceeded my 14-day trial period with Octopus, and I paid for the $14.99 and build it in a year. By $178, I've got a great tool to use that I'll use for a variety of things. Excuse me. I'll use it for special asset managers. I'll use it for secondary marketing managers. I'll use it for whole loan traders. Those are 3 of the like I said, job descriptions or job titles that I'll pull from either LinkedIn or I'll pull using LeadFuse at $97 a month to go in there. Because I've got about 4,000 leads in LeadFuse that I need to use because I paid for extra leads for 3 months and I've been whittling those down for a variety of reasons. Now, I've used that not only here for the note business, but I've used it to grow my database of real estate investors. I've used it to grow my database of note investors. I've also used it to grow my list of podcast hosts in the real estate side of things. What am I going to do with that list? Well, I've pulled a list of podcast hosts in real estate. I'm going to upload those lists to Octopus and go out and do the same thing to help book me on other people's podcasts in the next year. Hopefully before the end of the year and then also the beginning of next year. Now, another thing that we added to the list that I think works well when you're sending it out to asset managers is when you're reaching out to people, you want to try not to get diarrhea of the mouth. That's the worst thing you could do. I mean, go on and on. Some people just don't rank. You want your LinkedIn messages to be relatively quick. Okay. Can we agree to that? Because otherwise people aren't going to read a lot. So one of the things to look at, you might want to think about doing is inserting a video of some sort. Now, I took the time with everybody that was here for the virtual mastermind to go ahead and record a short video that goes out to asset managers. What do I mean by that? Well, what's funny is it was a short, less than 2-minute video. I've talked about this for podcasting, where I send out a short kind of pitch video, 2-minute pitch video going out to people. And that's the thing that you want to keep in mind is, when you can send a video out, it's going to tell a little bit more than what you can say in a written aspect of things. Okay. It says a little bit more about your personality. It talks about a little more what you're using, what you're looking for. And so that's what I did. I took my smartphone and I filmed basically a 1:45-second, under 2-minute video, just talking kind of about what we're looking for. Okay. 1:51 actually, to be precise. Helping bank asset managers. I got my smiling face. I created a thumbnail and I've got it going to go out as a link with my other contacts. That's the beautiful thing about Octopus. I can put a link in there. Say, hey, to learn more about my entity, or a little more what we're looking for, here's a quick little short video on what people do. This is going through LinkedIn. It's not going to get blocked by like a mass email. Now, the same thing, what am I also doing? I'm also taking that same video and I'm sending that same video out via my email blast to the list of asset managers that I've pulled their contact information before. The 4,000 plus contacts that we have from banks. We're including that same video as a link that goes out to people. Now, it's set to go out today, actually, in roughly 2 minutes to the new contacts, or the 4,500 lists of asset managers we have from banks, from Lane Guide, from LinkedIn, and from our years of just dialing for dollars. Okay. So that's a pretty cool thing to do as well, is include a little something personal, a little video about who you are. Like what the title is, how can We Close Notes help you clean up your fourth quarter portfolio, your books, whatever. And I'm excited because now I put the video to private on YouTube, or you can put it on Vimeo. The reason I leave it unlisted is that way those that watch the video, it will accurately track those that are actually watching the video from either my email that goes out here in a minute, or the link that we put in with our direct message out to Octopus on our customized CRM with customized, hey, first name, last name. Just wanted to see if you're the right person at blank in charge of your non-performing notes, sales. Would love to talk with you. Here's a little link about what we do. Again, you can see how many people are watching and how many leads it leads to. Now, people think it's already leading to leads. These two simple things, these two simple actions can really come in because it's just a necessary thing, especially now that we're into October, November. We're into the fourth quarter. Banks are looking to move stuff off their books to clean things up by year end because they want those books to look good, especially when they start to get into fourth quarter earnings or first quarter, whenever their fiscal year ends, to start looking good as they're reporting their reports to their investors, especially when they're filing their Federal Depository Insurance Corporation, FDIC reports that they do on a quarterly basis. So that's a great thing. Now, another thing that we did as far as finding new leads, which was also very fruitful, this is something we've talked about, is I asked everybody in my mastermind if they had ever gone to the county records and pulled a list of assignments. And the thing is, it didn't surprise me that nobody had done that. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if I buy or sell a note, if I'm selling a note, I'm going to have at the county recorder's office or the county clerk, an assignment of mortgage is going to be filed. If it's a first lien, if it's a deed's going to be filed, transfer, okay? But an assignment of mortgage is usually the easier thing to track to see what's happening with notes. And so it's an easy thing to do. What we did, we pulled up in Franklin County, Ohio, which is Columbus, one of the hotter markets in the country. And that's one of the things we wanted to search. And we went on there and we did a search for assignments just for this year, going back to January 1st of this year to last week. Now it pulled up 3,557 assignments, if I remember correctly. And we could only view the first 1,500. Well, it didn't take long. It pulled basically about 20 a page, showing assignments from one institution to another institution, and a lot of the bigger names around there, Bank of America, selling to one, or Fannie Mae selling to Goldman Sachs. And there's a lot of the bigger names. But the thing that we spent literally the last roughly 2 hours of the day going through that list and me walking my mastermind members through those specific things. It's the biggest thing. People are like, looking for new sources, looking for new sources, looking for new sources. And if you want to get new sources, you've got to do new marketing things. That's really the title of this episode, is New Marketing Equals New Sources. Well, most people are still going after the same old sources, the same lists, the same people that are posting stuff on a regular basis. Because why? Because they don't have to lift a finger to reach out to those people. They don't have to do anything. They're still working full time. And so they think if they drop an email out and get an old list in, they think they're doing something when they don't realize those older lists aren't really doing any new marketing. It's not really resulting in any new deals. Okay. And that's something to keep in mind. That's why I spent the afternoon with them sharing LeadFuse and Octopus CRM, two valuable tools. We're also taking the time to create a little short pitch video to go along with their emails. I literally filmed the video straight from my smartphone, and it's not, I think it's still on here, and uploaded it directly. So they didn't have to do any fancy production work, didn't have to do any fancy modeling or anything like that. I mean, literally, let's see if I can bring it up here. I'm the CEO and president of WeCloseNotes.com and the host of the nationally syndicated podcast, The Note Closer Show. Why are you seeing this videos? Well, you've opened one of my emails I've sent out to different asset managers about working with you this fourth quarter, about helping to clear up any of the
the bad assets that you might have on your books that you're looking to move as a firm. I've been buying distressed debt for over 10 years, and I've got a network of investors across the country that close on hundreds and hundreds of different individual assets and pools on an annual basis. And we'd love the opportunity to take a look at any distressed debt on residential or commercial properties that you might have on your books that maybe have grown a little bit of hair or something, borrowers that you're tired of dealing with that you'd like to mosey on or kick the can on down the road. But I would love to visit with you. Short 15, 20-minute phone calls just to see what you have in your books. You can send over a spreadsheet. We're glad to sign any non-NDA for you. And then come back with an offering in 24 to 48 hours with a bid. And then really try to create a win-win scenario. Win for you guys, a win for us, and ultimately a win for the borrowers. We're looking as best as we can to try to keep the borrowers in the home if we can. We don't want to foreclose, but we all know that's a stretch that happens. We've got a nationally licensed servicer as part of our team and a great portfolio of other workout strategists, attorneys to help us with the right party contact to the borrowers in case they're avoiding your phone calls. But like I said, Scott Carson with WeCloseNotes.com. That's the main website. Love to talk with you. And if you're interested, even with, maybe love to have you on our podcast as well to talk about what's going on in the market this fourth quarter. But I look forward to hearing from you. Just click on the link below to schedule a quick 15-minute phone call with me. And I look forward to talking with you and working with you in the fourth quarter. Have a great day. Bye.
So see, nothing difficult, just kind of talking about what we're doing as a company. When I say about the link, that's literally a link to my Calendly booking link so that we can schedule some time to talk, to see what they have, just to get a feel for each other, just a little bit of a one-on-one conversation. It's not meant to be a 30-minute. These guys and gals are all busy. We know that. So it's just designed to say, hey, I'd love to visit with you. Let's talk and see what you have and see if there's a way to do some business together. So nothing difficult. Like I said, including that link into the video, including a link into my calendar so they can book directly. That's the two valuable things that you want to try to be able to squeeze time out of their day. They're all busy. Let's try to just talk a video versus they got to read a long email. They may not be able to do that, but that video is embedded into my email at the very top. So it's the first thing they're going to see when they open my email, and hopefully they'll connect on it and be able to watch it. So those are two valuable things, but it's the calling, the follow-up once you dive into, remember, the county clerk list, looking for assignment of mortgages or just assignments and doing a search through. And it on Saturday, between noon and 4 o'clock, you're probably not going to see a lot, but that's what we did. I started when I would find a small entity, do a quick copy of the entity and do a quick Google search. It would often pull up a website with that same entity and then a phone number. And then what did I do? I just dialed for dollars. Literally in front of our audience, I just cold called these people and left a message on a couple. I was able to get a hold of one on a contract for deed. Noticed that the guy had bought it from Harbor Portfolio. And so he picked up his phone and I said, hi, my name's Scott Carson. I see based on county records, it looks like you guys bought some contract for deeds from Harbor Portfolio. I'm also an active note and contract for deed investor. Didn't know if you had anything available that you were looking to get off your books this before the end of the year. And the guy's like, yeah, I think we got about $3 million worth of contract for deeds or notes we're looking to sell this quarter. And I'm like, awesome, great. And this was all done live, wasn't pre-scheduled. So exchanged emails with the guy and emailed them, and I'm looking for that list. I'll follow up with a phone call again to the guy today. And it was productive. And everybody that was there was like, wow, it's easier than it looks. Yeah, it's just a matter of dialing for dollars. So made about 5 more phone calls and left messages with the people. One was a guy down in Fort Myers, obviously a real estate investor down in Fort Myers, Florida, but he owned a note or two up in Columbus, or he bought a note up in Columbus earlier this year. And so looking for a phone call back from them today. Found I'll follow back up with them as well too. And that's the big thing. You want to keep track. If you're going to be doing this, if there's 3,500 names, you're not going to make 3,500 phone calls. All right. I think in the matter of an hour, we went through 4 pages. I identified about 6 to 7 sources. One's actually a friend of mine, Lisa, out of Philadelphia, Lisa LaJoy. It was funny. I dropped her an email and she responded back. I saw that she'd bought a note this year, and it was a good little chuckle that you will run into people that you know. When I Googled her entity, her face popped up, which is great. But that's the thing, is in that hour or 2 hours, I think we did about 2 hours, In those 2 hours of making phone calls and following up, I did more than what most people will do for their own business in a month, a quarter, 6 months, or a year. And the information I was pulling was free. Didn't cost anything. It was totally free. I just had to log on to Netra Online, netronline.com. And pull up the state I want to look at. We just decided to run with Columbus, Ohio. That's Franklin County. Jump on Franklin County, look for the county recorder's office, county clerk, it's called in other places. Click on it and look for assignments into the year, basically for 2019. Now, could you reach out if you're in an area that's had a lot of note sales and assignments and things like that, could you reach out to your local title company and they pull that information for you? Yeah, usually they can do that for you. Sometimes they'll charge a fee to do that. We do that for a couple counties, but it often becomes really valuable information because now you know who's bought or sold a note. There's people that if you just Google the entity, you can often find. Sometimes we even saw personal, like IRA companies that had an assignment done to it. All right. So the thing you got to keep in mind is this is not difficult work. It's just a little tedious work. Now, could you do a couple things? Could you pull a list and have your VA, a virtual assistant for $4 an hour, go out and Google these people and find a name and phone number? Yeah, of course they could. That'd be easy for you. Then you could follow up with an email to them or check out on LinkedIn and see if they follow up with, if they're available. Of course you can. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's a smart thing to do, especially if you find an entity or somebody who's at that company on LinkedIn, you could do a search and download them. And that's the nice beauty about LeadFuse is you could do an individual search to find one lead and add that to a list. So you can keep a rolling list of people. Now you've got a nice list to upload to Octopus CRM and reach out to. But I think if you're going to do that much work with a VA, you might as well just go ahead and find the phone number and website for them, and they'll probably find an email and reach out to them directly. Or add them into your email you send out on a hopefully monthly basis to find new deals. Now, one of the things too, as we get into the fourth quarter, I was talking to people, they're like, oh yeah, we're getting ready to send our first email out. And I'm like, how often are you doing that? Oh, we're only going to do that once a month. I would increase that here in the fourth quarter. I wouldn't do it every 2 weeks because people are going to be busy, especially through October, through November, and through December for a couple of reasons. One, they're trying to clean up their portfolio, clean up what the banks looks like so it looks good, like at the end of the year reporting. But they've also got holidays like anybody else does. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday you celebrate. And then, of course, you've got New Year's. So if you can look to close by, Christmas is on the 25th, which is on a Wednesday. So if you can close by the 27th, which is the Friday after that, or worst case, the 30th, which is the following Monday before the 31st, you've got an opportunity. But you've got basically less, at this point, really less than 90 days to get things done. I mean, it's now the 15th Tuesday of October, so you have 2.5 months, really 2 months if you think about trying to get things done by the 15th to really boost your end of the year. Now, these things worked out. We've got lists, we've got some new leads, new connections. It's just a matter of following up with them and doing that. But most people won't make the first bit of reaching out and making a phone call, reaching out and doing a search. And they can do this. Like I said, I did this Saturday afternoon. In a matter of a couple hours, I find 4 to 5 new lead sources, pulled a list, was able to upload the list and reach out to people and have stuff sitting in my inbox for me to look at now, which these are leads that nobody else has seen. Nobody else is probably reaching out to them because most people, 95%, if not higher, are inherently lazy. And we're all lazy at some point. That's not a lie. It just is what it is. We are all lazy people at some point. We get tired. We get worn out. We're tired of doing the same things over and over again. And I understand that. I totally understand. Trust me. I've had ups and downs and peaks and valleys, excited and then just down in the dump sometimes too. But the thing that always gets me excited is trying to find new sources, reaching out and going out prospecting. I really enjoy that. The beautiful thing is you don't have to go out to a BNI networking club or go out to a meetup group or go out to a local real estate investment club. You're probably not going to find a lot of sources there for deals for yourself. Now, if you have a local business, that's a different story. But for us, with us buying in a lot of areas outside of Texas, or many people doing this on a part-time basis because they still have a full-time job, or full-time career, these are the little things that you can do to set yourself apart. I guarantee most of the people that we're reaching out to probably aren't getting phone calls from potential buyers, from people asking if they've got deals for sale. I can almost guarantee you that, because most of them, especially the ones we talked to and emailed back and forth, they haven't gotten phone calls or requests from people. And that tells me that most people aren't going to do the extra. Yeah, everybody likes to get started, get their feet wet and say they're an investor, but doing that, going above and doing that extra work on the weekends or at nights, or adding a tool, because somebody was like, oh, I got to pay for that. I don't want to use that. And I'm just like, wow, that's the difference between something that you get a free trial for 2 weeks, or that's the difference between success and failure. Sometimes it's a free trial. Sometimes it's $178 a year. Those things are investments in your business that you'll definitely use. If you use them, you will find success. But it makes no sense to pay for something if you're not going to use them. And what we're seeing from people I'm talking to is most people aren't doing the things they need to do. And that's no surprise that there is a wide gap, just like everything else, between those that are truly successful and those that continue to sit around and bitch and moan and want success. It's really just about a 5% extra. Do a little bit extra. Do a little something more each day, and you'll have a lot of success in the long run. So that's one of my most impactful things I could tell you guys that are listening to this podcast, listening to this episode, or watching the YouTube video, is check out those two really cool tools, LeadFuse and OctopusCRM.io. Those two things, I'll put the links in the blogs. I'll put the links in the video descriptions for you guys to take a look at, but highly, highly recommend it. Two tools that are adding immediate value to our bottom line, and hopefully going to add some value to yours as well. So wish you guys would go out, do something, take some action. I guarantee if you continue to take action, do a little bit extra. Hey, what's 2 hours on the weekend when you got the weekend off? Dang, that's 2 hours closer to success. That's 2 emails closer to success. That's 2 posts that are closer to success than the rest of everybody else. Because most people aren't going to do the extra. They're just going to sit around and try to do the bare minimum to get by, and that's why they're not finding success. So go out, take some action, everybody, and we'll see you all at the top. Bye.